And in today's video, it's time for some gear talk, but for my Act 2 album. Are you with me? Let's go. Hello friends, it's me, Kostas. I hope you're all doing okay during this extremely hot summer, and welcome to my new video. But I have to warn you, this will be the last video I'm gonna make for now. And the reason for this is very simple. I just decided to take some time off for a couple of months, get some rest, recharge my batteries. Plus, I have a huge non musical project running right now, so I don't have nor the time or the energy to keep making new videos for you. But don't worry, I got plenty of ideas for about 20 or maybe 30 more videos. Don't worry, enjoy your summer, and I'll be back. But not like this guy over there. But before the gear talk, here's a small message to all of you. Okay, after this kind message from me to you, let's start with the gear talk. And of course, let's start with the guitars, but without the S at the end, because on this album, I used only one guitar. This baby over here. It's a Schecter C1 Hellraiser FR. I got this back in 2012, used but in mint condition, from a guy named Dionysus, a very gentle and kind guitar player who was playing at that time with a prog band called Agnosia. If you're into this prog thing, go check them out. It is a very cool guitar for playing metal music mostly. It has a mahogany body, a neck through construction, 24 jumbo frets, EMG active pickups, 81 and 85, and Floyd Rose original tremolo system. And this is also a very nice guitar to play, in my opinion. In fact, it feels, while playing it, like a Les Paul-ish guitar in a super Strat body and with less weight, although it is not a light guitar. Okay, the only drawback I had with this guitar back then when I was recording Act 2 was this thing over here. Because you see, trying to record rhythm guitars using a guitar with a floating bridge is not a very good idea, because when you hit a chord, this thing is moving and the intonation of the chord goes slightly off. Of course, I could install a trem stop system at the back of the guitar, but I didn't want any more metal things inside the guitar, so I chose to go the hard way. And what do I mean by that? I mean that instead of recording 5 or 6 takes of each riff or chord progression, mostly, I did 10 to 12 takes. Okay, it took me some more time and effort, but in the end, I managed to find the perfect intonated chords to use on the album. But in the future, I think I will get myself a guitar with an Evertune bridge and make my life a lot easier. What do you say about this? If you do have a guitar with an Evertune bridge, please share your thoughts with me in the comment section. Thank you. And now let's talk about strings. I forgot to mention in the previous video that on Act 1 I used D'Addario strings. 1046 for the rhythm guitars and 942 for the leads and the solos. But on this album, I chose to go hybrid. And I got myself these babies over here. Ernie Ball Hybrid Slinky 946 model. Because since I wanted to make this whole album by using only one guitar, I chose to get the best of both worlds. And I used 6 sets of strings for Act 2. 4 of them for the rhythm guitars and 2 more for the leads and the solos. Yeah, too many sets of strings, and it was very annoying to change strings all the time. But since we are making an album, we need to have fresh strings at all times. Remember that. And now let's talk about picks. The picks I used on Act 2 were these: Dunlop, Tortex, the green ones. They're 0.88 millimeters, not too thick for metal playing, but I like them a lot. I like how they feel in my hands. They're very comfortable for me to play, and if I may say, I like the tone they produce. Let me explain. Okay, I know some of you may say, Kostas, what are you talking about? The guitar tone when playing metal music is in the speakers. And I agree. 90, maybe 95% of the tone of the guitar is in the speakers. But in my opinion, the material and the shape of the pick plays a significant role. I tested other picks, and some of them were too bright, some of them were too dark, but this one stands in the middle. Not too bright, not too dark, so it was an excellent choice for my taste. And now let's talk about cables. The main cable I used on Act 2 was this one. It's DiMaggio with some magnetic shielding. Okay, it is not a Vovox cable, but it's pretty decent. And I also chose it because it is not too long, just 1.5 meters long. Because when we're recording music, we do not want to lose our signal inside a very, very long cable. So when it comes to cables, shorter is better. Remember this. And I also used one guitar pedal to record the solo parts of the song Fading Horizon. If you've never heard of this song, okay, here's the link to this video. Go and watch it. It is this one, Morley Bad Horsey wah pedal, the Stevie Vai model. I think it is the first version of this pedal, and I chose it because, first of all, I love Stevie Vai, and secondly, because it has no button underneath the pedal to activate it. You just touch it and it starts doing its thing, which is very, very important to me. As for the guitar sound of the album, Athanasios reamped my dry signal I sent him by using some excellent amps. He used PV Triple X for all the rhythm guitars and the clean guitars, and an English Savage for the leads and the solos, both of them connected to a Mesa Boogie 4x12 cabinet with Celestion Vintage 30 speakers. To be honest, I love the work Athanasios did for my guitar sounds on Act 2. Maybe you like the guitar sound too, but don't ask me about amp settings and all that stuff because it is pointless. As you may know, you cannot recreate the guitar sound of an album that you really like just by copying amp settings. It doesn't work that way. Okay, and now let's go for some bass talk. Nikos Michalakakos used on this album this baby over here, Spector Rex Brown model. To be honest, I didn't know anything about this instrument because I'm not a bass player. And when Nikos told me, yeah, Kostas, I will use my Spector Rex Brown for this album, I said, yeah, whatever, I don't care. But when he sent me the DA tracks and I listened to them, I said, whoa, this thing is nice. I really loved the sound of this instrument. In fact, it sounded great even in my rough mixes with almost no processing at all. But when Athanasios took the DI tracks, he did some miracles with it. I think he used this Trillium plugin and managed to make this bass sound killer. To be honest, I often catch myself listening to this album just to hear the bass. For example, take a listen to the verses of the song Ember Fire and you will get the idea. And now let's talk about vocals. The microphone I used was the famous Shure SM57, the Swiss knife of microphones, if I may say. To be honest, I wasn't really sure about it, but I later found out that Metallica used it on several albums. I think Red Hot Chili Peppers used it also, and even Michael Jackson used this to record his vocals. And I said to myself, if this thing was good enough for them, it surely is good enough for me. I attached this thing in this mic stand over there with this soundproof behind it and pop filter in front of it and placed it into this closet in front of me, right where the camera stands right now, full of clothes and with some pillows from my couch on the floor. And I had my own vocal booth to record the vocals, and that was it. And now let's go to the more studio related equipment that I used on Act 2. And let's start with the audio interface. It's this one over here, but you can see it over there as well. An Audient ID44, an excellent audio interface with some of the best super clean preamps on the market, two DI inputs on the front of it, and two headphone outputs, which is very handy in some cases. And most of all, it is built like a tank and it is very, very easy to use, something very important for a guy like me. The studio monitors that I used on Act 2, but also on Act 1, were these babies here. They're Tannoy Reveals. They're passive studio monitors. That's why I have this stereo amplifier down there. They're pretty decent and they give good information if you have a room with proper sound treatment. But since this room doesn't have this proper sound treatment, I mainly used this pair of headphones to record the album. They are Sennheiser HD 280 Pro headphones. Okay, they sound nice, they help me a lot, but as for the earpads quality, okay, it could be better. Sennheiser, are you listening? As for the computer I used, is this one down there, a PC with an AMD processor and 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM and some other stuff, but I cannot say much more about it because I am not a computer expert. I'm sorry. This thing runs Windows 11 and the DAW I used was Cubase 11, the artist version. I used to have this 10.5 elements, but I upgraded it because I really wanted this comping feature, which was very helpful for me. Now let's go to the drum sounds of the album. When I was recording Act 2, I used the Easy Drummer 2 and a very, very cool kit it had in there. But Athanasios, I think, used Superior Drummer 2, and I don't know the name of the kit he used, but I have a picture of it to show you. So if you're familiar with these expansions of Easy Drummer or Superior Drummer, you will recognize it easily. Time for the keyboards of the album. The software I used was Steinberg's Helium 6. Too many sounds, too many possibilities, but for me it wasn't very easy to use because I needed to do a lot of tweaking to get the sounds that I wanted. I used it in the most part of the album, except of the song Evil Thoughts Around. You see, when Spitfire originally recorded Evil Thoughts Around back in 1986 or 87, they used the legendary DX7 synthesizer, but I couldn't find one to reproduce the original sound. But I was lucky because I found on the internet DX7 VST plugin and put it in the specific song. Okay, it took me some time to program a sound similar to the original thing, but in the end, I think it worked great. And that's it for today. I hope you liked the video. I hope you found it kind of useful. And if you did, think about leaving a comment, hitting the like button, hitting the share button, or even subscribe to my channel and let the YouTube algorithm like PowerStorm a bit more. I'll see you again in 2 or maybe 3 months from now with a new About video. And until then, take care of yourselves, enjoy the summer, have a good time, listen to good music along with nice people, and as I always say, support all the bands and the artists that you really like in every way you can. Bye bye.